It looks like the left tackle competition is heating up, and the Bears finally got into pads for day 5 of training camp. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another training camp recap by your boy Philip Charles VanDerHeyden IV, aka Philly the Fourth. I'm here with you to talk today about the Bears in pads, baby. Now, I'll start this thing off with the somber news, and that was that Coby Bryant unfortunately went down with a knee injury today. With that being said, it's a lot better than we initially feared. So it sounds like he's going to be out 8 to 10 weeks. He's got a hyperextended knee, bone bruise, and a small fracture. But 8 to 10 weeks is better than what it was initially feared because he got carted off. Now, it was a long walk, and so some people were saying not to put too much in to the carting off part of it all. But, the fact that he's only going to be out for 8 to 10 weeks is when it was a knee injury is a blessing. Like, injuries are going to happen, but as long as they're this way, something that he could recover from and he can get back in the mix early in the season, right now that puts him out until October-ish. And, that's okay. Like, he'll miss the first 4, 5, 6 games maybe, but he can get back in there and start making a difference for us, before we're even halfway through the season. So, get well soon, Coby. Don't get back out there until you're at full strength because we need you to make that playoff push. But, so what ended up happening is Cam Lewis took his spot with the ones, and he started to run safety alongside Dillon Thieneman. And, this is going to put some pressure on the rookie as well. He's going to have to get up to speed and be the playmaker that our safety position, needs. You wanted that to be Coby, but at the same time, this is why we drafted you, Dillon. You got to put on a game face and get out there and get after it. So I have faith in Dillon. I think he's going to be a great piece on this defense. So, I'm excited to see what he could do. He'll have a little more pressure on him now, but that, that's just what comes with it. That's what that comes with everything. So can't wait to see what he could do on this defense. The left tackle position started to get talked about a lot today. And, there's some great competition going on out there. While Braxton Jones ran with the ones today, and he got a lot of praise, there was also some praise for Jedrick Willis and what he was able to do, with the Browns, I believe, before he got here to Chicago. So I have a couple of quotes here from Ben Johnson about the left tackle competition. So without further ado, ask what will determine who wins the spot. Johnson said, "It's consistency for me. We're judging off the ability to block these defensive ends one-on-one, and then the ability to cut off on the backside of our wide zone scheme is huge for us. I think each of one of these guys is probably a little bit stronger in certain areas than the other guy. When we look at it, it's who's the most consistent player that we feel is going to help us on a weekly basis." And then talking specifically about Willis, he said before he got hurt, he was a very powerful player. It's hard to say if he still is yet. Hopefully, we'll see over the course of the next few days, next couple of weeks, if that continues to be the case. He hasn't played football in a while, so you're a little bit like, where's the confidence level at? From what we've seen over the last 4 days, it's been pretty good. It's been a good start. We'll continue to build on that. Braxton has been great. Jed's firmly in the mix. Kieran got some reps with the ones. Theo Benedict is worth mentioning as well. We've got a really good group of guys that continue to ascend and get better. Hopefully, it's a really difficult decision for us. So that's what you want to hear, man. I mean, some people might want to hear that someone's blowing him away, but at the end of the day, like, we're just got to be honest. Like, Braxton Jones or Jedrick Willis isn't going to they're not going to blow anybody away. But it's like what Coach Johnson said, who can be the most consistent? That is by far the most important thing as an offensive lineman, because you can't be a guy that dominates 3 downs, but on that 4th down, you're always giving up a sack. I would much rather take a guy who just gets it done, gets the job done, but he's not dominating, but he's getting the job done all the way through, every single play. Because a sack, that's a drive killer. You can't have it. So I'm excited to see what happens. I know that there's a lot of fans that are down on Braxton Jones. He's been in this league for a long time now, man, and he's continued to be a part of this football team, make the team, obviously. I think there's more value there than some Bears fans want to see. He's seen it all. He's been through it. And, he's becoming like a well-established veteran at this point. So I hope he wins the job, man. I really do. Because I feel like he's gotten disrespected at times when he didn't necessarily deserve it. Like, he stepped up as a fifth-round pick to be a day one starter and has gotten the job done. Yes, he's had some bad downs, but he's also had some great downs. Like, I remember this specifically a couple years back when he pulled on a sweep to Swift, and he pulled and he cleaned a Green Bay defender's clock so hard he wiped him out. It was crazy. So he's got ability, So whether or not he continues to be our left tackle starter, we'll see. At the end of the day, whoever's starting is probably, kind of holding the spot. We'll see. Once our injuries clear up, we'll see who the best left tackle is. But for now, I'm excited that, both Braxton and Jedrick are stepping up to the plate. Wish that Kieran was doing a little more, but hey, man, it is what it is. Otherwise, I have a cool highlight for you guys because there was 3 players that stood out to Brendan Sugru, who's a Bears beat reporter. And one of those 3 players is in this highlight. So without further ado, let me show you some Xavon Thomas and what makes him so dangerous. Let's see it again. That boy is fast. Like that. By the way, Terrell Smith, if you're going to wear number 32, all right, you can't be getting burned out there. I need you to do a little better. Actually, I think he actually might have walked off practice today. So I hope get well soon, Terrell Smith. But yeah, man. Xavon Thomas, I've been saying it. That was one of the first videos I did on this channel that I believed he was going to be an X factor, a secret weapon, a dark horse candidate to make this offense really hum. His speed is special, man. And when you've got to pay attention to a Roma Dunze, a Luther Burden III, a Colston Loveland, you got all DeAndre Swift, Kyle Monungai, Cole Kmet. You got all these people that you're worrying about, and now Xavon Thomas trots out there, and he's the fastest guy out of all of them. And if you forget about him for just a second, he's gone. Touchdown. Like, I need Caleb to get in rhythm with him, because if they can connect on that deep ball more often than not, Xavon Thomas is going to be a burner, a dangerous player. I mean, to the point where, like, if he's getting downs, if he's getting a decent amount of snaps every game, he could be a sleeper rookie of the year candidate. Now, I don't think he'll win it because there's other rookie wide receivers that were higher picked that are going to be the main, they're going to get a lot of balls, right? Because they're going to be playing most of the game. But I think it's entirely possible for Xavon Thomas to at least be in the conversation if he's getting deep, at least like once a game for big gains. If he's getting deep and he's getting like 40 to 60 yards in a game because he's getting 1 or 2 balls where he beats the defense deep and gets open, that's invaluable. And again, it'll just make him one more piece of this Bears offense that makes them so hard to stop. Like, good luck. Choose your poison, my friends, because we're going to beat you somewhere. You cannot cover everybody. It's just going to be impossible at a certain point. It sounded like the defense actually did step up today. Today was a competitive day of practice. Now, from when I see, like, there were some good moments from the offense, also some good moments from the defense, and I like that. I like that mix. The receivers had a good day. Out of the 3 players that Brendan Sugru said that impressed him, number 1 was Xavon Thomas. Number 2 was offensive tackle Jedrick Willis, because he appeared to have a strong day, as according to Clay Harbor. And then the 3rd player that he said stood out to him was Janae Walker. The receivers seem to be showing out following a rough practice Saturday, particularly Janae Walker, who stood out in both one-on-one and individual drills. Walker came away with a nice grab across the middle with good coverage on him, and Walker also easily beat cornerback Jalen Jones during one-on-ones with a deep catch over his outside shoulder. It's been a solid camp so far for the second-year wideout who hopes to play a bigger role in the offense. And my God, like that's what I'm talking about. I just said something about Xavon Thomas. That's four wide receivers that obviously Xavon Thomas and Ja'Day Walker aren't necessarily on the level of a Roma Dunze and Luther Burden, but that doesn't mean they're any less important, because if these guys can just be solid NFL caliber wide receivers that get the job done if they're not being focused on, that's all we need, and it also allows for guys to get breathers. Like if Luther Burden doesn't have to play every down, that's helpful, because then when he's on the field, he can go full out, max. He doesn't have to feel like he needs to save anything, because he knows that when he comes off the field, the players that stand in for him is going to get the job done as well. And he doesn't have to worry about it. He doesn't have to worry about playing every offensive snap. I think that our depth is going to be a big deal. And you know how it is in the season, man. People get hurt. You don't want to see it, but it's just the reality. People get injured. And so to have Ja'Day Walker and Xavon Thomas making plays in training camp and showing everybody that they're not to be, taken lightly, that's great for the Chicago Bears. It's awesome. I will say Jalen Jones, like, if you're going to start there at the nickel, you better step up, bro. Ja'Day Walker beating you. Look, that's all well and good, but we need you to play good on Sunday if Kyler Gordon isn't healthy. Another unexpected offensive weapon, and I know it feels like, how can we have this many great players on, or at least solid players on offense? We have another one, guys, because Bears tight end rookie Sam Roosh is apparently emerging as a larger potential receiving option than was initially expected. So Sam Roosh is out there even making plays, y'all. It's unbelievable what kind of talent Ben Johnson and Ryan Poles have brought in to be a part of this offense. And it could be a record-setting year for the Bears, frankly. Like, I honestly almost expect it. And I know that's kind of crazy to say, but the Bears just have so many weapons. And Caleb Williams is going to be dealing, y'all. That 4,000-yard thing, if that's easy, he's going to clear that this year. And I think he clears it easily. I think he probably beats that before we're even in the last week of the season. He's going to have a giant year, you guys. And I know that I've already made a video arguing for why he could be MVP. That's not a crazy thought. We're in year 2 of Ben Johnson, one of the best play callers in the NFL. And he's got Caleb Williams, one of the most talented quarterbacks in the NFL. And then you give him all of these receivers, all of these tight ends, all of this talent on the offensive side of the ball. Like, it's going to be crazy, man. And if the defense can just do their job, dude, if they could just limit teams to like 18 to 21 a game at most, we're going to beat that. Like, we're going to beat those teams almost every Sunday if that's what happens. Like, I would be willing to guarantee that we're putting up close to 30 points a game this year. I really feel that way. Maybe I'm crazy, but it is what it is. Just going through some other notes here. Jack Sanborn and Kyle Monangai returned to practice today. Love to see that. Don't want to see them out with an extended injury. So I'm glad that they got back in the mix. Xavon Thomas continued to making plays. Caleb Williams showed off his ball placement on multiple impressive throws and wasn't afraid to get after his teammates when the offense committed costly mistakes. Love that leadership from Caleb. Continue to develop in your leadership role, young man. You're going to be a great player in this league. I love to hear that, because it's all about you want that leader on offense that's getting everybody right, that's getting after people to do the right thing and to get the job done the right way. Luther Burden III made another spectacular downfield catch against Tyree Stevenson. And I think Coach Ben Johnson today actually compared him to Amon-Ra St. Brown. When you're catching comparisons to Amon-Ra St. Brown, dude, the height machine could not be in any further overdrive. Luther Burden III is going to have an explosive year. Health. As long as he's healthy, you can expect that man to go over 1,000 yards. I think safely. Khalif Raymond used a nasty stutter step to beat Jalen Johnson deep during wide receiver DB drills. That's impressive. Again, Khalif Raymond, another wide receiver, and he's a veteran. Like, the amount of talent on this team is ridiculous, you guys. It's crazy that we're like 6 wide receivers deep. It's like legit wide receivers. I just don't. I don't know how teams are going to stop us this year. I really don't. Garrett Bradbury earned rave reviews from Ben Johnson. He praised the veteran center's intelligence, decisive communication, and immediate chemistry with former NC State teammate Joe Thuney. That's really cool that he used to be on NC State with Joe Thuney. I didn't know that. That'll allow them to have some chemistry off the bat. And also, it's great for Garrett Bradbury to be executing at a high level because it's teaching Logan Jones, our second-round pick. He's getting to watch an ideal, scenario, what it looks like for a Super Bowl caliber center to be on the field, doing his thing, making it happen. So Logan Jones, man, just lock in and focus on what Garrett Bradbury's doing because he's showing you the way, my friend. Otherwise, going through here, the offense heavily leaned into 12 personnel and play action concepts, while Devin Bush, Dillon Thieneman, and the Bears defense answered with strong recognition and pass breakups. Love to see it. And I think that does it. The Ben Johnson also, when he was addressed about whether the starters would play on August 15th against the Cleveland Browns, I believe it's August 15th, right? Not sure, but here I have a quote. So, to be determined. We'll see what it looks like, and that's how we're going to approach it over the next couple of weeks, and we'll be smart. Obviously, we need all these guys to be as healthy as possible as we're going into the season. It's a long year, but at the same time, we need to make sure that we're prepped and we're ready. We're looking at the numbers. We've got good sports science data, the number of reps we're getting, the quality of the reps we're getting. It all goes into it. So, hey, I trust Ben. I know that a lot of fans are going to be impatient. They're not going to like it if, the starters sit, because I know that people, in reality, it's all based in selfishness. People want to see these guys play. And so I understand that. I understand as fans that we're eager for football, but at the same time, they don't even put together a real game plan for these things. So the preseason matters less than it ever has in 2026. I'm not worried about it, but, obviously whatever Coach Ben Johnson decides, I'm into it. That'll do it for this episode of Chicago Bears Breeze, my friends. What do you think? How are you feeling after 5 days, of the NFL, of Bears being back in training camp? Do you have any early favorites? Who are you looking out for? Like, I would like to know actually which receivers do you think are going to have a bigger year between Xavon Thomas, Ja'Day Walker, and Khalif Raymond? I think that's a really interesting conversation because you can make a case for any of them. You got Khalif Raymond's experience and his, veteran ability. You've got, and obviously his comfortability in Ben Johnson's scheme. You got Ja'Day Walker, who, made big plays last year and made the team as an undrafted free agent. And so he's got a chip on his shoulder. He's always looking to prove himself. And then Xavon Thomas, who's got that lightning bolt speed. It could be a real game breaker on this offense. Which of those three do you think has the best season? Let me know in the comments below. But until next time, my name is Philip Charles VanDerHeyden IV, a.k.a. Philly the Fourth. Please leave a like on the episode. It means a lot for us, my friends. As always, long live the Chicago Bears, but most importantly, long live you, Breeze Nation. Everyone have a great night, and bear down, Chicago.